Hello viewers, welcome again to our family program, The Living Room on Ekwa TV. Here on the set this evening with me are some of my favorite ladies. We have my big auntie, as they call her, Professor Mrs. Tessie Madu, my sister, Mrs. Ibwebe Namo, and myself, Professor Amaka Ocheke. The last few the last many episodes, we've been talking about discipline in the home, and we've been talking about raising our kids at different stages in their development. And last week we started talking about preteens. We started talking about them, and we raised the fact that they were in a very important phase in their lives where they begin to show their innovative skills and the kind of things that they can do. And we agreed that parents we have to be available for them to help them be the best we can be, or they can be, sorry. So we'll start the discussion this evening by talking about what we as parents can do to bring out the best in these children so that they can achieve all that they are supposed to achieve, because God has placed so much in these kids. And if we don't guide them right, they may not be able to achieve their maximum potential. So, Professor Madu will set the ball rolling with what we can do as parents to help our preteens to be the best they can be.
I think by way of recap, we also mentioned that we need to know each child. What makes them tick? Let me use the word, what makes them tick? What excites them? Are they quieter? What are their talents? Even if you don't know their talents, somebody can help you identify their talents. So I think we needed to recap that we said, let's know each child. Because until you know each child, you are not able to help them release themselves. And you also know that discipline follows each child's bent. There are those children that just one look at them, they are sorry. But there are those that even with corporal discipline, it doesn't quite set in. So I would say that let's study it. We've been following this child from age 0. They are now in their preteens, and they are showing us different sides of who they are. So I also remember that we said one of the things that parents can actually do is be on their cheerleading team. Let's be the ones to tell them that this is good about you, so that they are not looking for that validation outside. Particularly the girls. I think moms, please take the trouble to tell your daughter she's beautiful and that this beauty comes from God and is for a purpose. So if a child is self-assured before they get into the teen years, they'll not have an identity crisis. They know that they are loved, they know that they are beautiful, they know that this is what they do well. I think Ivy will be telling us later about how to get appropriate help, because you know that this is who the child is, this is where they excel, this is where they struggle. And by the way, which of us doesn't struggle one way or the other? But if you leave it to them and to what they like best, they will slide into the other one. Like I would remind my children that the world is made up of maths and English. So you don't read only English because you are not numerate. But if you're also numerate, you also need to develop the other skills to be able to grow into a balanced person. And I think one of the other things I remember we said was that let's put their energy to use. They are so full of energy. Let's use that. Let's put that energy to use. Help them engage in sports, skills like music, everything. In fact, they have boundless energy. We need to put that energy to use. And we said one of the ways that can help us is to introduce some form of structure. I can't help but keep emphasizing this issue of structure, so that they are able to attempt almost everything they should at that age.
Okay, you said something about being able to identify what their talents and gifts are. So as parents, who else or how else can this be identified if as parents we can't do it ourselves, or we are not able to identify, or are there people in their lives who could help us identify those talents in these our children, aside from us or we their parents? Maybe,
Okay, maybe
I
should take that, but school also should do it, although school is not doing too well, but school.
School, Sunday school. I think parents should interact with Sunday school teachers. Don't just leave your children to Sunday school teachers and sit back and say they are taking care of them. Find out at every point who is my child's Sunday school teacher and talk with them. What have you noticed about my child? What do you think he or she is doing right or doing wrong? What are those things that you think that I should work on my child? I'm sure that if you talk to Sunday school teachers, some of them will be very happy that they found a parent who is interested in their children. Not just fighting them because they didn't do what you think that they should do for your children. So those are some of the people who could really help them. And then school, like we said, many schools don't have time to check whether your child is to check for your child's talent. So but some schools do. Some schools do. So if you have children in a school that you are sure they look out for such things, at each point interact with their teachers, not the school, but each class, especially the primary school, because at this age, some of them have started moving from primary school to secondary school. If they have a class teacher, interact with the class teacher, because sometimes let the class teacher help you to interact with their subject teachers to find out what is the strength of my child in this area and in the other area.
But let me add, Amaka, one of the things that parents should really do is study the school report.
Yeah.
Every term, the school report has an indication of where your child averages or excels. That tells you a lot about what they are good at and where they need to improve. So in addition to that, the very first thing is, do you take the trouble to really study the school report and what it is indicating?
And when you study the school report, it's important that you talk to the teachers, because I've been a teacher in schools and I know that sometimes those reports are not correct. They just mark them, those reports about hey, you just mark that you have 30 children, you have worked on their subject, you have gotten their average and who came first, and so the back you just turn it and just mark very good, just satisfactory, you just do. Some schools do.
That's not what I'm saying. Ivy, you are totally discarding the fact that if, like in the class, there are the highest is 80, and they usually will indicate that the list is
class
maybe
average. Okay.
What did my child score relative to the 80? I begin to interpret that this child has a strength in this.
Math,
he's not doing very well here. So those things point us to who they are.
Okay, not just the general behavior that you were talking about.
I thought you were talking about the general
subject
behavior.
And you'll be amazed because this is how their aptitudes are deciphered. So you begin to say that this person has a talent in this person has a talent in this.
Okay, so what we're getting here is that parents should pay more detailed attention to the people who interact with their kids.
Exactly.
So Sunday school, parents, please, let's try and talk with our Sunday school teachers. Know who in short, first of all, even know the class your child is in. Because I realize some parents don't even know what Sunday school class their children are in. Then find out who is teaching your child in Sunday school and interact with them to find out how your child is doing in Sunday school. Because even in Sunday school, you pick up some of the strengths, weaknesses of your child, and some things parents need to work on at home. Then, of course, this school report we just talked about, because many parents also, I noticed, once school report comes in, you just look, what is my child's position? He came first, second, third, you clap. He came 10th, you start quarreling. Excuse me. So we should take time to go through the report and find out the strengths.
Yes.
And then know what you need to address and what, to help push the child in the right direction. So please, parents, take time. So how do we help these children?
At home, set boundaries. set boundaries and explain these boundaries. And don't just set boundaries and like rules and regulation. If you break them, you are going to be, no. Set boundaries, explain the boundaries, the consequences, and why those boundaries are very important. And then when they break the rules, those punishments, do I call them punishments?
Consequences.
Those consequences that are attached to them should be. Don't do it for one child and another child you are relaxed. And then like Auntie said, if you know the temperament of your children or you know who they are, you'll be able to know which child to give which, even chores. There are some chores that some children are not very good at, but you can train them to be good at it, but then find out, it's another way of finding out their area of strength in the house, the preteens. Find out who they are and then set boundaries at home and make sure that if you say everybody should do this, like I used to, once in a while I used to tease my husband, I say, the boys have never seen you do dishes in the house. And then you tell them, no boy should tell me I can't do dishes in this house. I say, you have to set an example. If you think that doing dishes is something that they should all do, once in a while, let them see daddy washing plate. It's not going to kill daddy. And then things like that, you know, and other rules in the house, you know, TV hours, phone hours, and things like that, and make sure you stay on them to see that it is carried out.
Auntie, issue of discipline. Because for parents, this discipline and guiding them is a lot of hard work. Parenting is not easy. It doesn't come by chance. So, Auntie.
So I would start with the end. We alluded to this last week. We said, give them a good end to aspire to. These are children who, when you ask them, I want to be an autopilot, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a medical doctor. So since this is what they are aspiring to, work with those aspirations. They are likely going to change their mind, but you say, my medical doctor, it takes this and this to get there. So can you see, they begin to see the implication of what it will take to be able to do that? Like, and then can you see I'm using the positive rather than the negative? The other was work with their dreams, drive their dreams, help them dream high, and tell them that it's possible to achieve it. But you see, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be able to get there. And this is the process of discipline. Aspiring to be an Olympian, aspiring to be the best athlete in school, and get them to try many, many, many things.
Okay, like what are the kind of things we'll be trying? Sorry, I cut you short. You were saying something. But, you know, you're saying get them to try many, many things. So what? So that,
for example,
we're clear what we should be getting them to try.
So I heard early one of my children thinking that they would be a medical doctor. But at that point, I was not sure whether she possessed the aptitude or not. But I also went along and said, what part of medicine would you be practicing? Gynecology or what? Because I wanted to call her the doctor of whatever. And I kept calling the doctor. And then after a while, it was changing. It was like, I think I want to make a lot of money. I said, but doctors make a lot of money too, not maybe in our climes. So we began to try other things, like during the vacation. Got her to try out this, worked here. At one point, she even worked in a chartered accountant firm. So these are the things I'm saying.
Okay, so you get them to
try things out,
to work in places, try hobbies, or okay.
I even got one a doctor's kit.
Okay.
So when I say try things out, get them into community. What are the neighborhood children also trying? Sports is one area where we figure out whether they are good sportsmen or not. But like Ivy's talked about chores, even in doing chores at home, you will begin to see those who are conscientious and you'll be seeing those that can jump procedures. It tells you that this person is not a conscientious person. These are not the things. But we're helping them to learn the conscientiousness because it takes this to deliver.
Okay, so those processes also help you to identify the gaps that need to be...
One time I got 2 of my children to learn how to sew. I'm not a tailor. I do not know anything, but I thought about a life skill that they could learn. And it was only one of those strikes. One of them accomplished it and got a sewing machine. Fast forward, being an architect and having the knowledge of sewing is very good with interior design and all the things that go with architecture. So some of the things they are learning just help us sharpen the things that they will do vis-a-vis career. But it is this preteen age that we shall latch onto, because at that age, they will do everything. You tell them, I would like you to learn the skill, provided you are the one paying, they will go.
They will.
Okay, so we get them to learn many things. Because one of the other things too, I noticed at this age is complaint of boredom.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so bored. I'm so bored. So we get them to do many things to help them try their hands on different things.
Keep interlacing it with praises. Keep applauding the effort. If they make the effort, notice the effort and applaud it. I think they hear too much no.
Or negative talk. They get discouraged. They get discouraged. Okay, now the discipline. How do we help them? Because for a number of them, I think that's the age where if you leave them, they can max out in front of the TV from morning till night, doing nothing. So how do we help them develop discipline in their lives, you know, to be focused, to be able to achieve tasks? So what do we do with them to make sure that this is happening? This is happening. We've said they try many things and all that, but I think if they are not made to focus, they are not disciplined in their time and all that, they may not be able to do all these things. So
does Ivy want to talk to that? But don't forget reward system.
Okay. While you are in school, we taught the little boy to know that he goes to bed by 9, and it continued. Even his elder ones, any child in the house knows that once it's 9 o'clock, you are going to bed. And somehow they got used to it. So even when they became preteens, it was just it looks like we injected them. By 9, you see people falling asleep, even if they are in the parlor. So you have trained them to condition their mind that once it's 9 o'clock, although those of them who are adults now, they don't keep that rules. But when they were children and when they were preteens, they know it is just a normal thing. So put a timing on most of their activities and tell them, if you say we are going to do these chores by this time, make sure you check that it was done. If it was not done, there is a consequence to it. And if it was done, like Mommy said, you clap.
But do more than applaud. They should earn money from their tasks.
You did this very well. This is good. I like the way you did the dishes. Today, you are going to get 2 meats. Or today, or next week, I'm buying pizza. When I buy the large pizza, you are taking 2 pieces. It's, it encourages them to do it more. But when all they hear is, I will deal with you. If you don't do it, I'm going to do, they will get discouraged. But, make sure that when you give a rule, when they keep to the rule, you applaud them, you give incentive, and then when they flout the rule also, there are consequences, and make sure you keep to those consequences. It will really help them.
But shall I interject and say that, you see, we're asking children to try things, but we should also give room for genuine failure. We ourselves fail at certain tasks. Of course. So if a parent is following with the child, you will know whether this thing was a genuine failure And
Or
not
was a
rebellion.
mistake?
Not
Was a
rebellion.
mistake or just being
But,
rebellious?
but when you are trying many things, there will be times when we fail. And at that point, parents need to encourage rather than add to the sense
fear.
of failure. They're already feeling a sense of failure because that thing failed. The child didn't fail. The activity itself, we failed it, or we need to learn the lesson twice or thrice, but the child himself did not fail.
As in, don't tag them failures
Uh-huh.
because they failed in a particular activity. They're not failure. In fact, psychologists will believe that no child is a failure. In fact, if you write an exam and failed, it's not because you're a failure, it's because they didn't ask you what you knew in that thing. That's what we believe. So the examiner did not ask you what you knew. That's why you didn't get the answer. So you are not a failure. So let's learn as parents not to tag any child. Don't your head is not catching fire. I know there are slow learners. I know there are average students, and so if you study your children, you will know.
Or
If
they
this
learn
one,
differently.
yes, if you know, you will know this one is a slow learner, and don't begin to compare them. See your brother, he's getting A's. What are you doing? She is for B's. Allow her to get her B very well, and encourage her in her B, and tell her you can work harder. You can attempt the A, even if you don't get it. You know, a parent once told, well, a teenage daughter that, see, even if you get pregnant at home, you are still my daughter. I'm not going to hate you. But you should know there are consequences to everything you do wrong. So the child is not doing... A lot of times we want the children to make us proud, which is good, but can we help the children to discover themselves? It's not about us, it's about them and God, really. Because yes, they won't give you a bad name, but ultimately, what about them? That's where identity crisis come in when they become teenagers, because they live their life trying to please daddy, trying to please mommy. Everything they do is to make sure mommy is happy, daddy is happy. But the children who are doing it, are they happy? Are they excited about what they're doing?
So I would say, can we look at it a full day from 6 a.m. to 6
p.m.
9
maybe
p.m.
8 p.m.
9 p.m., yeah.
One of the ways we help children is where I'm assuming that you have led your child to Christ. Are you helping them with having a personal time with God, where they are able to bring their concerns? Because then we begin to know what really worries them, whether an upcoming exam is worrying to them, whether they feel prepared for it or not. What are the things that feature when they say, pray for me? So can you see that we know that we have a structure? So we come into a preaching, say, what did you learn? What has God been teaching you? And you know, they have smart answers too. When they come back from church, Sunday school, we also ask them what were the lessons. But I would say on a daily basis, let's begin to check on them. Did they have devotion? Have they prayed about their day? Are they prepared? In fact, it starts the night before. Was their bag ready for school? Were homeworks dotted and crossed? Do we have a time when they come home and we commit to homework, and the time we commit to reading, and the time we now commit to the extra things that they must do? I think these are the kind of things that develop discipline in children. The discipline, private discipline, family discipline, and then the discipline that is imposed on us from either school or from Sunday school, as the case might be.
Okay, so it should be clear what they from the time they wake up in the morning, 6 o'clock, to the end of the day, should be clear what they should be doing.
They should know.
They should know. It should be clearly communicated to them what they should be doing at each point. We don't just let them. When it's holiday period, do we let them?
We should catch some fun during holidays.
Yeah, allow them to
should catch
have
some fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't say excessive TV or excessive eating and binging either. These are all learning moments where we're able to teach self-control. You don't eat more than what you need. Don't eat non-stop, because when you were in boarding house, you were eating all of this. So now you want to make up for all the time that you were. But holiday times, I think we should be intentional and have fun. Take them places. Travel if you can. Let them learn, from the travel experiences, meeting with other people too, learning from. But you see, when we take them out, we're able to see whether they are hypocritical in their attitudes, whether they are
just pretending at home.
They have different
behaviors or faces.
So let's introduce fun. Let them have fun. Watch some TV, not too much TV.
What of lesson?
During the holidays?
I don't subscribe to holiday lessons. I don't know why. None of my children did it. And my school at that time too, we didn't agree to it. But parents will come and beg you that please, and these children, do you have a package for them, especially during the long vacation? I used to tell the parents, plan for long vacation during PTA. I would say, long vacation is coming, plan what you want to do with your children. The school do not have any program for your children. They are not happy with it, but that is what it should be. Eventually, my school started doing
they succumb to the pressure.
They succumb to the. But we as a family, my husband will always say that the planner, the curriculum planner that inscribe into school holiday period, they don't have mental problem. They know what they are doing. So if they say children should be on holiday, then let them be on holiday.
Okay, but just asking. Sometimes the issue is when the report card has come in.
Yeah.
You look at it, the child is weak
in some
certain
areas,
subjects. Maybe
yes.
he hasn't done well in math, he hasn't done well in chemistry. What do you do?
Yeah,
they still need some holiday.
They still need a lot of the holidays, but you can get help for them. That is, you are dealing with a particular problem. But it's not a general thing that every holiday they must just be in school. They must do holiday. In fact, some Christian organizations organize holiday program for the children.
Vacation Bible.
Vacation Bible school, vacation conferences for children, teenage conferences, pre-teens conferences. Allow them to go and have fun. Let them get out of the house to other places and meet people they are not meeting regularly, instead of always telling them it's about book. Maybe during the holiday, they could learn to cook.
Holiday time is also when they can read storybooks, Willow in the Wind, all those things. It's part of enjoyment.
Even cooking. The girls can learn more about their cooking skills.
Today is
and the
International
boys.
Days for boys. Boys should learn everything. Why are you saying girls? You've started.
They should learn to cook during the holiday. It could be part of it.
All the children should learn to
all
cook.
the children should learn to cook. In fact, they should learn how to take care of their rooms during holiday. I have 3 boys. I know the first boy is a perfectionist. You don't need to tell him, put this here. If you enter his room, right from when he was 10, he has all his things in. The other one, your friend, his shoe is there. So I will bring him to the room and say, oh yeah, arrange the room. He will stay there. He will play small, arrange small place, but he is there. And I keep coming to tell him to do it. So those are some of the things we could do. Reading, okay, my daughter reads a lot, so we get a lot of books for her during holiday. My boys, they don't like to read much. We try to make them read. The perfectionist will tell me that if he wants to read, then we have to buy books that has pictures inside, so that when he reads one page, he will see pictures that is explaining the page he has read.
Those are baby books now.
So that he can continue. But as he grew up, he knew that those things were in. But when you give him a book, you have to talk before he will finish it. But the girl, before you know it, in 1 week he has finished the book.
But what are the rewards they like that go along with what you're asking them to do?
Yeah.
Like those who like reading, if they read 5 books and they get 1 book as a present, can you see there's the motivation to continue to do that? So I can't overflog this issue of rewards. Give them the kind of rewards they want. And they should begin to earn money too.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll address that when we come back from our break. So viewers, we're going shortly on break now. When we come back, our phone line is one. Will be on the screen so that you could call in to make in your comments, your contributions to our ongoing discussion about how to help our preteens focus and be on the right track to be able to achieve the best that God has ordained for them as they have been placed in our care. So see you when we come back from break. Welcome back, viewers, from our break. We are here in the living room, Equa TV, and we've been talking about preteens, how to help our preteens to achieve all that they need to achieve. And we were talking before we went on break about reward system. So, Professor Madu, back to you.
So one of the things I reward, like what I think is not what they would do on a daily basis. Like right now, the rainy season has set in. My hedge is overgrown. From last year, we had already bought hose. So I challenge them. I say, how can we keep this house clean? They don't know that money is coming. But when they have hoed everything and it's neatly done, I now bring out the reward. I say, for doing this, I think that we deserve some financial reward. So I give them something, but not what I would have paid a laborer to do.
Of course.
So they have accomplished something. They have helped keep the environment neat, and they have also earned money by the side. You know, I also have a side business.
Mm-hmm.
During the holidays, they have taken turns going there, learning. I can't pay them a full day's, but I give them something, some motivation. Sometimes I call it credit money also. So let's devise rewards that make them see what they have done and also see some financial benefits, because at this point they should be learning how to tithe. They should be learning how to save, to buy gifts for friends. You know, when it's they asking you to buy gifts for friends, the gifts are very expensive. But if they are taking from their savings, they begin to know money management. So these are some of the things I think. Like if a child has kept their cloth properly and the cloth is not torn and it's in such a neat condition that another child can benefit from it, they should get a reward for that, because they've taken good care of the clothes. So there are several innovative ways that parents can reward, you know, apart from just saying you did well. Let me also reward you for doing this.
So that they strive to do better. Viewers, just to remind you again that our number is on the screen. Please call in, and then you can also go to our Facebook page and paste your comments, and we will respond to them. So we're looking forward to hear from you. Mrs. Namu.
Hygiene is another thing we need to teach, because a lot of them don't know. The girls, some of them may have started seeing their messes at the preteens. So they need to know how to package themselves, how to take care of their undies, how to manage the sanitary towels and things like that. And then the boys, their boxers, what do they do with it? How to wash it themselves and make sure it's clean. Not that when their trouser goes down, you see some colorful line around the boxers. So we need to teach them hygiene of themselves, how to take care of their hair, and all these type of haircuts they have these days. I don't know where they are getting it from. I used to tell the boys in my class that sometimes if the people come to the class, they will count more than 10 mad people, because your hair is like the madman in Terminus. I don't know why people are carrying this hair. I don't even know what it is. And you see the preteens too wants to barb their hair like that. You would think that they are small, but they will go and be telling the barber to do something to their,
They are looking at their
models.
Their models on TV. So movie stars,
Yeah.
musicians, all those kind on-air personalities.
Yeah.
They are looking at them and they want to pattern their lives after
And
them.
to
But
that,
at
I
this
think we
age,
should-
IB,
yeah.
aren't the children doing their laundry on Saturday? Are they not doing their laundry on Saturday? These are 12 to 13-year-olds.
They are doing it, but we need to check too. We can't completely
So
say
what
they
I
are
wanted
okay.
to say was that don't just talk about just the
Boxers.
undies and-
Yeah.
They
I mean,
should
they
wash
should be
their
doing
clothes and
their-
they
Yeah,
should be
clothes.
taught.
No, I'm just talking about. I'm emphasizing on boxers, but it's
So they
not
should
like
be
it's
taught
only
how to
do
wash
laundry.
their.
That's a Saturday chore.
Yeah.
After our devotion, what do we do in the morning? We do the laundry, we put it on the line, and we're responsible for getting
them in.
Them.
our laundry back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So teach them to do their laundry is part of hygiene and to keep themselves neat. The boys don't like taking a bath. And I don't know why. You
And you
have
were on
to
TV.
say it again and again and again. You know, some of the boys will say, but I'm not dirty. I'm not.
yeah.
Keep prolonging the thing. Sometimes if you don't if you don't watch them properly, they can stay till the next day without taking a bath.
Okay, we have a call. Douglas is calling in from Kaduna. So, Douglas. Have we lost him?
I think
Douglas?
so. I think so. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, go on.
So you have to emphasize bath. It's not enough to put bath, but take a bath and a proper
And take
bath.
a proper bath.
You know, what my son, your friend, if you force him to go and bath, he will go to the bathroom and actually pour the water and
But he will
come
not
out.
scrub.
He will not use the soap. He will stay in the bathroom for a while so that you will think that he's taking a bath. Then he will carry the water and pour it. So you will see the whole. You will think. But when he
tried.
comes back, when he comes out, and I say, "You didn't take a bath." Mommy, how did you know? I said, I was standing here. You know, I can't come in to watch you, but I know you didn't take a bath. So I think we need to emphasize taking a bath and the importance. So hygiene is very important.
I need to check.
Yeah,
Because,
we need to check.
okay, Douglas is back.
But we also have a comment on
And let Douglas finish, then we'll read the comment on Facebook. Douglas.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
Good
We can
evening.
hear you, Douglas.
Hello?
Hello, Douglas.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes,
well,
yes,
loud
we
and
can
clear.
hear
This program is very touching. I want to contribute on this topic.
Okay.
Go ahead. We're hearing you.
You know, this attitude of our children is very worrisome.
Uh-huh.
I gave my son, the fourth of my children, money to go and do Baba. For him to go church on Sunday.
What did he do?
He went and do one kind of design. That when I saw him, I even afraid.
Douglas, you are getting us cracking up here. Okay.
So, you see, these children, they say it's their generation. Their complaint is their time. I don't know where we are going.
So what did you do, Douglas, about the haircut?
So please, I have to send him to go back to that same place.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hearing you.
And that time, there was no light, and the generator was 40.
Sorry,
So
Douglas.
On Monday, before he went and complete the Baba.
Yeah.
So, Douglas, last week, I don't know whether you...
Is the parent that saying to do that one?
No, it's
No,
not
no,
parents.
no, no.
It's not parents, but parents need to supervise and insist that the right thing is done.
And it is good that you sent him back
Yeah.
to go and do the right
But they
thing.
also needed to have had a discussion
Yeah.
Yeah.
before he went to... Douglas, at this age, last week we said, these people are full of why. Like when he said, this is this hairstyle I want, you could have had the discussion. I remember my son at that age, he had a hairstyle called mohawk. In fact, that was my first time of coming across
The word.
something called mohawk. And I tried to reason with him, why do we do this? Unfortunately, the school permitted it. So since the school was permitting it, it was difficult for me to enforce from home that I don't like it. But I tried to ask, why do you want mohawk? What does it stand for? Can you see, we can have a discussion. What does the mohawk stand for? And how does it portray you to outsiders? So you see, by talking with these people, you can come at a reasonable agreement. I don't know. Maybe Ivy wants to add, but
Yeah.
I'm still seeing what we have on TV.
Okay. You can.
I can read it.
Yeah.
Isaac Mani Nyadebo, all the way from Sierra Leone, says that, good evening. I'm watching live from Sierra Leone, West Africa. I want to ask how to deal with a child that is very stubborn but very
Very
smart. Over to you.
Okay. I think we've talked about this, especially for children who have reached age of understanding. We need to have discussions. We need to have discussions because sometimes what you may portray as stubbornness or what you see as stubbornness, maybe the child exploring, trying to do certain things. So you need to have that conversation to find out, why are you doing what you are doing? And I think when you have that discussion, you'll be able to better understand the child and then know what to do. And in also doing those discussions, you're able to sieve out whether it's just childhood curiosity or outright rebellion. Because you need to deal with them differently.
Or even a mental health.
Yes, or a mental health issue. So we need to find out what the issues are by discussing, because with this mental health issue, you even find children who are smart academically, but some of the things you are trying to explain to them doesn't make sense to them. So, okay, somebody is calling in from Sokoto, so let's hear him and then continue after.
Okay, we probably lost him.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a comment about stubbornness. I think sometimes parents want what they want.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, caller from Sokoto, we're listening. Okay, it's like you are too close to your set, to your TV set. Could you move away from it or lower the volume of your TV set so that we could hear you? Okay, so maybe drop the call and call again, maybe to be clearer.
So let me make a comment about what parents say a child is stubborn. You know, we have a mindset. This is how we grew up. And we think that our children will grow up the way we grew up. But we fail to recognize that maybe traces of stubbornness are simply aspects of determination, if your child is going to succeed, they need to be a determined individual. And that can come out like being stubborn, because you need to explain and tell them how they can channel that stubbornness to that, like staying at task until they accomplish it. It takes a stubborn spirit to be able to stay at a task until you achieve the results. So I don't even want to label children. I want to say that why do you think they are stubborn? Because they haven't done exactly like
What
you
you
would have
asked
done, you know? But there will be those that are quite, what's the right word to use? They are very congenial. Whatever you say, it seems like they would do it. But when they keep doing what you are saying, you also suppress the expression of who they really are. And at one point or the other, it may come out.
Yeah.
So I would say, don't say they are very stubborn.
I think you need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
you need
even,
to find out who the child
even
is.
like this bedtime thing.
Yeah.
You say you go to bed by 9. But you see, there are children who are avid readers, or they feel they have not been able to cover, like you said, this child is intelligent, not been able to cover schoolwork. And so when you say switch off the lights, he goes with a torch and under the blanket is reading either his school book or something. So you need to have that conversation. Why are you doing this? And it may come out clearer, well, usually the time I have is not enough to cover my schoolwork. So you're able to better advise how they can plan their time. Or I have this book that is so interesting I want to read. You explain that, look, if you don't have enough sleep, you're not going to be able to function properly tomorrow. Give yourself time, maybe in 1 hour or whatever you give to your reading for pleasure. So you need to have the discussion so that you know whether truly is stubbornness or it's just the child trying to express himself.
A lot of children who are hyperactive are always tagged stubborn. And sometimes it is not, they can't control what is going on. Their brain works in fast gear. So they want to do a lot of activities. You can't tame them per se. But when you talk with them, you can slow them a bit, not very much, and try to see the positive side of their stubbornness. It will help you to know that the child is not actually stubborn, but the child is just being active at everything he or she wants to do. He cannot do it slowly like others. You say, carry the plate to the kitchen and he will carry it and go gently. You say, carry the plate and he flies with the plate and you will hear the plate in the sink. You say, hey, this boy, oh, what will I? He's not being stubborn. That's him. That's him. So you need to understand who your child is before you tag him stubborn. Or what exactly do you call stubborn? Maybe that's the first place to start. What do you see as stubbornness? And look at the child and ask yourself, this thing you are calling stubborn, is it positive? Is it negative? Is it affecting? Like you said, he's smart and he's intelligent and yet he's stubborn. Maybe his stubbornness is actually in a positive side if he's actually stubborn. So you need to understand who the child is. It will help you to know whether the tag you have given to him is actually correct.
And guess where the children take the DNA from? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
And so that will give us some humility as we deal with children. Just remember what you were like when you were their age. I wasn't a tomboy, but by the time my mother said don't climb a tree, I'd climbed 6 or 10. But I won't tell her that I climbed the tree, and then I would have looked like a very stubborn child. But I think I had a lot of energy and curiosity. I wanted to find out. If the boys are climbing the tree, why can't I climb the tree?
Yeah.
So can you see that a conversation will help you see whether some of your biases are seeping through, provided it is not a sin. Provided
and I think
it is not a
sometimes
sin.
the stubbornness too, when children are stubborn, sometimes it's a call for attention.
Yeah.
They want your attention, and they found out that,
Exactly. You are
okay,
not there.
since I'm good in school, nobody gives me attention. They've just taken it for granted that I'm doing good in school. So let me do something so that they can talk about me, they can give attention to me, and then at least let some conversation go on around me, instead of all the time I'm the good child. So I think sometimes it's a call for attention, a call for help, and parents should give more attention to find out what and why they are doing the things they are doing. Like somebody had told me a story of a child who refused to do lesson with the teacher. She said she wasn't going to do the lesson. And the parents started shouting. The mother insisted she said she didn't want to do the lesson. So the mother went on and on and on. Finally, the girl said, okay, the only condition under which she would do that lesson is that her brother will be with her when doing that lesson. And the mother agreed. The mother missed something. That child was being abused by the lesson teacher.
You see that?
And you say the child is being stubborn. So sometimes it's a call for help, and parents should pay more attention. Why will your child say she's not staying, she doesn't want lesson, unless, and the parent didn't notice? I think that was careless on the mother's part. So sometimes this stubbornness is a cry for help, and we need to watch out for it. Yeah.
Well,
need to be very
let's also
sensitive.
not just do that. As we pray for these children, let's also reward good behavior. Keep your promises.
Okay.
As we keep rewarding good behavior, maybe the reward alone is even a motivation to try to be who they are under your boundaries.
Okay, it's time to go. They've asked us to wrap up. Time flies so fast. Do we still have any comment on?
Yeah, there
Okay.
was a comment there.
Just read it.
Can it be positive or negative? What can be positive or negative? Is it the stubbornness?
So just 1 minute so that we'll wrap
We're not
up.
saying stubbornness can be positive or negative. We're saying the behavior of the child,
Okay.
which you have tagged stubborn, could be, if you look very well, you could see a positive side of it.
So what we're saying is, parents, talk with your kids, talk with them, find out what is going on, and we'll be able to relate better and get a better outcome from the child. So thank you so much. Today
you didn't ask me for my last word.
Okay, sorry.
My last word is, don't always think the worst of the child. Please think the best of the child.
Okay. So these preteens, we're talking about what we can do as parents to get the best out of them. And we've said we need to encourage them. We need to know our children. We need to get them to do many things. We need to supervise them. We need to get them to be disciplined, time their activities so that they achieve what they need to achieve when they need to achieve whatever they need to do with every day. And during holiday time, let's allow them holiday. Let them have fun. If you can afford it, travel. When we say travel, it doesn't mean you must go to America or Asia. You can travel to Kaduna. Well, I don't know whether you go to Kaduna now with the way things are.
Go to the village.
But you can go to the village. You can go to Lafia. You can go somewhere different. Do some fun things during the break. Well, concerning holiday lesson, if they are weak, we can focus on what exactly they are weak on, but not just general lesson. Let them relax, let them have fun. That's what the holiday is for, to calm down the brain and prepare them to take on the task for the next term when they get back to school. So viewers, thank you so much for sticking with us till the end of today's program. We're looking forward to seeing you again next week. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about teenagers. So come prepared. Come ready with your writing materials, with your questions, because we know that is a very tough time for parents. But all this foundation we've been talking about, if you haven't been doing it right, that's when we're going to have tough teenagers. But if we've been doing what we've been saying right, teenage years do not have to be so difficult. So thank you again for being with us at the living room on Equa Television. Looking forward to seeing you again next time. Professor Teresa Madu, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mrs. Ibwebe Namo.
See you next time.
And from myself, Professor Amaka Ocheke, God bless you, and let's keep living and shining for Jesus.